Namarai Satya Kenamai Sitya Kinaka. Welcome. Saradaka Saranimaki Sityaki. So much love to all of you. Saradaka Saranamaka Saratiki. In this wonderful day, the last day of February. Saradaka Namapa Saratiki Nyamasaka. There's so much speaking from the heart, you guys. So much speaking from the heart. And when I say that, what I actually mean is the true essence of the heart. There is so much wisdom and so much love coming from the true essence of the heart right now. And we can access that. You can access that if you truly tune in into what it's you, what it feels like to be you, in your own way of expression, in your way of non-expression, in your own way of being, especially right now in the planet. So the heart space, I was tuning into this right here, you guys, before. Welcome, happy Monday, before I actually got into the live video, and let's just talk about this for a second, okay? So the diaphragm. The diaphragm is actually like the portal opening of the heart, and it's wonderful. I find it really fascinating that when the lungs expand, the diaphragm goes down and up, and especially as women, because of the tendency or the belief systems that we were born into, whether it's our culture or the family, or even just society in general, it's like pull your belly in and up towards the spine, so you look skinnier and whatever, and that's not very healthy. And this, of course, this also happens for male. I'm not saying that this does not happen for males, but I'm saying especially in women, okay? And so what this does is that it's putting pressure, of course, in your belly. It's not allowing the organs to expand and to function as they wish. Therefore, life force energy is not really flowing, like the waves of ocean within your system, because it's so important, the move of the energy within you, okay? And so as this happens, the tension begins to build up, and where does it build up the most? In the diaphragm. In your diaphragm. So it's this point right here, right? Like right where the two rib cage, the rib bones meet. And so this space right here, during the awakening process, begins to open up even more if you close it by the space of not really enjoying your being, by believing that you're not good enough in the way that you look. And just by any of these conditions in the mind and in the conditions of society, of the collective, of your family, etc., right? I mean, most women go through something like this, right? So imagine this portal of the heart, which is literally the portal into the heart of humanity, into the heart of existence, into the pool of divine love, unconditional love, right? So imagine this opening for the portal that wants to be open, because everything in existence loves you. Everything in existence wants you to accept yourself, and this comes from you because existence is you, okay? You're just in a way having this personal experience that's so a small aspect of the divine love, but in reality it's not very small at all. You're not small at all. So here goes when, this part of yourself, the heart, the divine love, whatever you want to call it, it's just pulsating so much, because it's like a pool, it's like an ocean of just so much love and divinity and so much wisdom that you carry within your being, that you can access within your being. And now the portal, the diaphragm, is just tied up because you just, whether it was that you did not believe in yourself, you did not like how you look like, or you wanted to change yourself, or your belly was big or your belly was small, all these things that go in the mind about the body, especially how the body feels like. So it begins to tighten it up, okay? So the access to the portal of the heart is in a way clogged, And so this is really important, because as you're going through the awakening process, the moment that begins to open up, it's an indication that the lower triangle, your lower chakras, the lower triangle are not really operating in the way of survival anymore. So therefore you moved from the space that a lot of humans tend to be in, the space of they just want to be rich, or they really just they want the power, and they want to just have people lower than them because they believe they're best, okay? So that means that now the energy of the lower triangle is merging at the entrance point of the heart space. And meaning, you know, that your Merkaba, your inner Merkaba, you know, if you don't know what a Merkaba is, yep. Your inner Merkaba is activating. This is amazing, you guys. This is really amazing. It's activating, so it begins to move, right? So this happens when the lower triangle are moving up and you're getting access, you're reopening the portal, the entrance of the portal of the heart. And so therefore, because the lower triangle are not really operating into the animal instinct anymore, then the upper triangle is ready to merge. So this is also like the movement, the upper triangle, just like in here, you know, the Merkaba. So like the upper triangle is moving down, the lower triangle is moving up, and they are merging at the entrance point of the heart. This is where the diaphragm just goes like, whew. This is when you really go into the space of like, I love my body. I don't even care how it looks like, you know, I just love it. And all these conditions of the mind, all the conditions of your family, especially if you were like made fun of as a kid by the way that you looked, by the way that you spoke, that you dress, the way that you express yourself, like all those kinds of things, you know, begin to release, because that is what tied it up and made the space like this in the entrance of the heart, which is the diaphragm. Oh my Lord, you guys, this is so amazing, okay? This is so amazing. And what I'm hearing right now is that you can begin to release the tightness from there, you know? Remember, this is your body. You already know all the information that is in there. Oh my gosh, Susan, hi, yes. So you already know all the information that is there. You already know the access. You just need to get out of your freaking head and tune in into your wisdom, into what it feels like to be you, into your inner truth, which is like literally how you choose to be in your life, you know? And also, it's as simple as placing your hands in your diaphragm and open up the communication. This is what I talk a lot to my clients. Open up the communication with different parts of your being because it's there. You already know this communication. You already know the communication. It's just like taking out those clouds, or there's kind of like what is it, wax and wine? I don't know, like from like Karate Kid. I'm not sure how to say that without my Spanish accent. We were just watching like Cobra Kai and so like these things, you know. Okay, so like you move the little clouds to be able to tune in back into your own language. Your diaphragm has your own language. Your diaphragm is a gift. Your diaphragm is the access to the ocean waves of unconditional love that is already inside you. And it's really the access point, the merging of the two triangles, the awakening of the Merkaba. So then your system begins to move all the energy around. And really, it's not like it just says like, bye, 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 you know? It rotates. So you're integrating many things that you pushed aside. You know, it's not that you're just gonna be, okay, bye, I don't need you, because you're actually putting a block energetically between whatever it is that you don't want to accept and your current self. So you are actually making a separation in your being. But the integration is like, you welcome it. You see what is behind that which you don't want to see, and you see it with different eyes. You see it with the eye, you see it with the heart, you feel it with the heart, and you integrate it with this motion of the inner Merkaba. You integrate it with that because it's rotating. So it's allowing you to see, like imagine that you have your own spaceship, okay? And it's allowing you to see from different perspectives because it's moving. So then this is what I always say about seeing it from a different perspective. You're constantly moving. Your energy is constantly moving. Think about the rotation of the sun. Think about the rotation of the moon. You know, it's a mirror of us, just like in the sky is also inside of us, right? So as your energy moves, you're able to move your perspective with that. If you get out of here and you come into your heart, the surrender, you know? I hear some people that say it's so difficult. It's so difficult when you say it's difficult. you know? And of course, at the beginning, just like any practice, it's not that it's going to be like blim, you know, unless you have actually been doing that for a lot of years, meaning a lot of lifetimes, you know. This is why at times when you start to do energy work and it's just super easy, is because you've done it before so many times. And so here it is. You can access the space, okay? And first of all, you take care of this diaphragm. I love you, Susan. So you take care of your diaphragm. If you know this is the portal, and then I literally was seeing this, you know, I made this amazing tea, by the way, from my herbalism course. And I was just tuning in into the energies of the mother. I was allowing the medicine and the spirits of the plants just to guide me and tune in. And it was like the diaphragm. This is the space. You know, a lot of times we concentrate into the heart, a lot of times we concentrate into like the solar plexus, a lot of times we concentrate into the throat, the upper chakras and whatever. And what about this diaphragm? It's also a portal of energy. It's also a chakra. It's also divinity. And it's the point where this Merkaba, the inner Merkaba, meets and rotates, right? So it's a point of awakening. Oh my Lord. It's a point of awakening. Reawakening for you, remembrance, remembering you, because then you're accessing the portal opens up in the diaphragm. When the diaphragm is loose, when the diaphragm is just dancing, my Lord, this is really amazing, you guys. When the diaphragm is dancing, right, like your energies, the dance of your divine masculine and feminine energies, the dance of your inner Merkaba is in motion, right? So when your diaphragm continues to open up and it's a dance within itself. Everything in creation is a dance because it's in love with itself. It's just like, you know, when you really like love some kind of music and you can't even wait and you're just moving, right? Because you're feeling it. That is your own dance. So the diaphragm, when it's doing this dance, is allowing the energies, as I said before, of the lower triangle to merge with the upper triangle in that space. And in that space, you begin to travel into the pool of unconditional love. How divine is this, you guys? How divine is this? It's pretty freaking awesome. And the fact is that you have control over this. The fact is that it's your being. The fact is that if it's your being, which it is, you know, why not go into the spaces that just take you into higher levels of consciousness, that takes you into remembrance, that takes you into loving yourself and accepting yourself as you are. We have been conditioned, we have been like thrown up all these stupid ideas about how you should look like, about how you should speak, about how whatever it is, you know? And of course, there is this two sides of the coin, right? But enough with these things, because you have the power within you. You have the power within you. You have the Merkaba within you. You have all these energies within you. You have the portal to enter your own divinity through your physical body. What are you doing with your physical body? Are you honoring it? Or are you just continue with the stories in the head and pointing things at the physical body, saying you shouldn't look this way or like whatever it is, you know? The more you do that is the more that you create separation. The more that those energies, because there are in the field, they want you to not love yourself. They want you to not elevate even more, to not get to know yourself more, to not reach altered states of consciousness. They're doing that, you know? This is the reason why these things happen. Like when you are awakened, there's nobody has control over you but yourself. Because, you know, it's like, that's your story, that's not mine, you know? This is how I operate. This is how I am. I am operating from that space of divinity within myself. And this is who I am, and this is how I show up. You don't like it? Cool. You don't like it, but I love it, you know? So this is how you create your own revolution. This is how you can actually help others in the journey that you don't even know they exist, you know, especially the ones that are really suffering right now. because then you're creating, like I said in last week's video, you're actually being the support system, the pillar of the new grid of the earth. And so the pillar, as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, as you continue to love yourself, as you continue to accept yourself, as you continue to go inwards and saying yes, and saying yes. How many times have you said no to yourself? Literally, be honest, you know? I've said no to myself a lot of times prior to like 2011, okay? Like, so how many times have you said yes to yourself, and how many times have you said no to yourself? Okay, and now bring it up into balance. If you said no this many times, if you said this many times no, now look at the separation. And this is just like a little bit, so you have a visual, okay? So you are creating separation, right? You're creating separation within yourself, with your words, with your actions, with your thoughts, with like pointing fingers at your body, or even your mind, whenever you're telling your mind like you shouldn't be thinking this way, or like your emotions, you know, you're creating separation. And there's enough separation, and the planet, this is one of the reasons why the planet at times it's like this, you know? And of course, we need to be able to see the separation so we know where we stand, okay? So now, if you know that you have been creating so much separation within your own system, and now you see it, what are the steps that you can take in order to bring that back into balance? And it all takes patience, it all takes love, it all takes acceptance, it all takes one open of communication with your physical body. If the physical body wasn't actually something powerful, do you think we would even have it? We wouldn't even have it. But we have the physical body because we're in this planet, because it's an extension of Mother Earth, because it is the point through which your access alters state of consciousness. It literally is. What do you think during the awakening process? The body cracks, the body does all these kinds of things, you know, because it's reawakening itself. It's coming back into its own wisdom. So as it comes back into its own wisdom, and you go back into your own state of awareness, then it's the merge again, the dance one more time, you know. So when you're in the dance floor, wherever the space it is, you know, and you want to dance with somebody else, you know, it takes a person, right? You and this other person. And if you're just dancing, having a good time, and this other person is like this, you know, like it's there's not really a couple to dance, right? So this is what happens with the physical body. The physical body wants to dance with you. It has been dancing with you, but you have been blind by the own conditioning of the mind, by the own things of society, maybe by your own story in this lifetime. And that's cool, you know, it happens. Like, it has happened so many times to me, has happened to my clients, I'm sure it happens to you. But now is the point of making that change and the shift on your own vision. Your own vision starts with what you desire and how you want to operate in this existence. And change is not hard. Again, change is hard. When you say change is hard, change is for the empowered people. Change is for those that really are willing to go within themselves to see their shadow selves as empowerment. When you see your shadow selves as empowerment, you are our little stories, and you see them as divinity, you see them as teachers, and then you can continue to bring back your own dance. How amazing is that? It's all in your hands, and it's already all inside of you. It's all inside of you. Whew. Wow. It's all inside of you. And like that, if that's the only thing that you take out of this video, like, amazing. It's all inside of you. A lot of times, you know, there is this thing in the mind where you hear all the stories, right? Like, you see all these memes, so you read all these books, like, yeah, you know, it's inside of you, all these things, you already have all the wisdom. And it can be just like a story in a way that you continue to read. It becomes real when you decide that that will be part of your journey. When you say, yes, I don't even know why I'm saying yes to this. This sounds wild, but I feel it really deeply. And now I am creating this Because as you saying yes and you get out of that space, you begin to open up a little bridge energetically to an aspect of yourself, another timeline, if you will, and go from one timeline to another timeline, right? And of course, there's a transition time. And the transition time, I actually just recorded a podcast about this that will be live this Wednesday. During the transition time, where a lot of releases happening, a lot of integration happens, most people just want to be in the ending point, you know, and not allowing the process to unfold. You guys, the most beautiful thing and the most empowerment space is the in-between space. Because, I mean, you know, when you are like all like butterflies and rainbows and so cool, you know, like it's like nothing can bug you at all. Right? But then when you are deep in your own shed, you know, like it can be very uncomfortable. But again, it's very uncomfortable when you see your shadows as something that is punishing you, as something that is punishing you. You know, this opening of the diaphragm and like the Merkaba and all these things within you, as everything is rotating, as everything is dancing, things will move, you know? Things will move. Memories will come up that maybe you even forgot. And things are integrating, right? So if this space right here that is moving is not supposed to be that far away from this particular space, it will come back and it will go into that space, you know? So this is why many things in life, in your own process, like feels like just like, but it's because you're so tied up into how you think your process should unfold. And it's not about the mind. It's about your space. It's about your heart. It's about your inner wisdom. When you get out of the space of like, this is how it should look like. And not just in your own process, but in anything in life. And you just let these energies do their thing. Then you get so surprised. You get so surprised. And this is one of the beautiful things, one of the most beautiful things of the awakening process, is to fully just be in the trust mode. Fully just dive into the ocean, thinking that you don't even know how to swim, but knowing that the waters are you, knowing that every single drop of water is also you, knowing that the actual wave is you, so then you are taken care of. You are taken care of. And it doesn't even matter what anybody else says or does, because you are there in your own confidence. That it doesn't come of how you look like, it doesn't come how you speak, it doesn't come about like your kind of level in society. It comes from being you, you know? Your confidence comes from being you, your own expression in whichever way it comes, and just being like, this is who I am, you know? This is who I am. So here it is, the point of access of that confidence in the diaphragm and the merge of those two amazing triangles. So then you can actually see a different perspective every single time of yourself and love it all, you know? Imagine that you had the most beautiful being in front of your eyes. And you're just trying to see every single aspect and an angle of this being, because you're so in awe at this. Is like, what are you? And you just like kind of walk around the space of this being, all around, and going up and down, like kind of like a hummingbird. Okay, so the hummingbirds go like this, go like that, you know, so like they go in every single direction. So like imagine that you're the hummingbird and you're just going all around this amazing being and just seeing it, feeling the energy of this being. This is also within you, in your power, and this being is you. And then this is why you are so in awe. This is why the energies also begin to dance, because they're like, in a way, like, holy shit. Like, look at this being. Look at the power of this being. Look at the beauty of this being. Just look at the totality of this being. It's marvelous. This is where your own system does energetically, because it's so at awe at you. It's so powerful, and it's so beautiful, and it's so in love with itself. It's so in love with yourself. Your being is so in love with your being. And the reason why at times we go through depression and anxiety or we hate it is because we grab these stories and we believe these stories from outside of ourselves that tell us that we're not good enough or whatever else it is. But in the inside, it's not like that. In the inside, it's not like that. And going back into the physical body, when you believe these things, then the physical body gets ill. In any kind of way, things stop like functioning the way that are supposed to function, and the energy doesn't flow like it wants to flow. So there's not this dance, there's not this amazing dance within your system. It's more of like the friction, like I want to dance but I can't. I don't know. I'm kind of scared. It happens like this. And then again, one of the biggest access points of your awakening is the physical body. So if the physical body feels ill, if you don't love the physical body, then all those channels that I was talking about just completely like shrink a little, and the energy gets tight. And then what? Your dance kind of stops. This is one of the things that really happened during suicidal tendencies. The dance kind of stops. You stop believing in this magic. You stop believing in the power of the physical body. You stop believing in everything, and you just want to give up. The channels are so close. So imagine if the channels are so close, how is the energy going to flow? How is your own energy going to flow? How is your inner Merkaba going to move? How is it going to show you a different perspective if it's kind of like, oh shit, it's too tight. Like, I don't know, I can't even move. There's no space to move. The physical body. Your physical body is your entrance to all this altered state of consciousness. The physical body has recorded within itself the wisdom of all the elders, the wisdom of life itself, and it can lead you into the spaces that you've been dying to be into if you honor it. I'm going to change the words. When you honor it. When you honor it. Okay? And it doesn't matter what happened to you. Okay? And of course, I'm not taking away any validation. I'm not invalidating your feelings. Like, shit happens in life and it really does suck and it's very painful. But then you have that moment of truth that can come out and say, I'm not those freaking stories. I'm not the stories. I'm not like the person that my parents wanted me to be, or that my parents think I am, or the person that my partner thinks I am, or whatever it is, I'm not that. I'm not those stories, because those are just stories. They don't know you. You are you. How can others really know who you are? They're just stories. They have like these stories in their head of like what they believe you are. But so when you really see them as stories and not your truth, then you can begin to open up those channels within yourself. Okay? And yes, it will take the strength that you already have, okay? The love, the unconditional love that you already have, that you already are, to see the stories. To see the stories, okay? And to integrate them. To integrate the stories. Again, it's not about throwing them away, because those stories, are part of your personal story, okay? So those stories, in this way, you can actually see them and just honor them and thank them, and then just be like, oh, okay, let me hold you. This is where like the shadow work comes into, Yes, sometimes we don't even know who we are because we have other people's truth inside of ourselves. Exactly. Maria. Exactly, So going back into your story, what it feels like, how, if you are really, so submerged in your mind and your emotions and your physical body about the stories that other people said about you, and they just kind of pushed it into your system, It's all about just going back into who you want to be, who you have always desired to be. So it becomes a little bit easier as you maneuver through these spaces. Okay. And of course, as you're seeing the stories come in front of your face, call upon that energy, call upon the strength that you already have. Okay. If you have ever seen, there's like a documentary, but the name is spacing out right now, of like how the trees connect with one another, right? And this is something that as beings, because we're connected with the earth, an extension of the earth, we can also do this, by the way, how they speak, okay? One tree, through their own roots, through their own like energetic system, can connect with one that is in the opposite side of the world, okay? So you are part of this right here. You are part of this system, of this web of communication that is also underneath the earth. You can call upon this support. You can call upon literally anything that you can imagine, and it comes to you. It comes to you. This is why I said, like, when it comes from the space of the heart, when you truly desire something, and not to get something in return, but when you're just like going to like, I'm ready to see my own story, and I'm ready to rewrite my own story, then in that space, it comes. It comes. It really does. And then you have the strength to look at the stories, And then again, I'm not taking away anything that it might be challenging and stuff. Like, trust me, like I had like my fair share of traumas that I integrated, and I saw them. But again, going back into that when you're looking at your shadows and you go away from that story that your shadows are just there to punish you, and go into the story of like your shadows are there to empower you to actually see your own story and rewrite the story that you want to rewrite, then it's different. Because that strength comes through. It's like literally like a channel that opens up. It goes like, here it is. And yeah, even though you have tears and you're just like, going through things like that, but like you still have the strength, Let me tell you just a little part of my story. That I suffered from bulimia and anorexia for over 20 years, on and off. It was really horrible at times. It was very mild at times, right? Releasing this part of my story because it was something that I so believed. Like, I so believed that I was fat. I so believed that I was ugly. I so believed that even that I wasn't worthy of being here, that I had to have a different body in order to actually be worth something. So when I was releasing the end of this, I was living in Colombia at that time, it was horrible to release it. I'm not gonna lie. But I knew, it's like I have to see this part of myself and I have to hold her. I have to hold this child and this teenager that didn't have any support through her years. That everybody made fun of her because I was made fun of as a kid because I was the chubby of the family and just chubby in general. And so because I didn't have any support growing up. And let me tell you that I was in bed, sitting in bed, holding myself, crying, shaking, screaming, while internally I was holding her. And I was letting her tell me everything that she's ever wanted to say to all these people or just say in general about her own feelings. And yeah, it was challenging, But you know what brought up after that? More empowerment, more self-love, more love for my body, okay? So it's not something that is not doable. It's very doable. And one of the reasons that I actually believe that you went through that is because to reawaken the strength within you, to put it at peace, to integrate it, and to go back into yourself, the separation. So then we can come back and see the unity of your being, the unity of your being. The power that you have, it amazes me, honestly, the power that we have every single day within myself, in my partnership, in my clients, you have it. You have it. And it's all about, again, just saying yes to you. If you want to say yes, of course, But I truly believe if you're watching this, whether it is right now live or the recording, it's because there's something in you that says like, yes, you know, this is how it should be like, you know, like it shouldn't be like, yes, it should be like, yes, yes, I want to be me. And I want to access all those parts within myself, because why not? It's you. It's you. And this is like the one thing that it's like, it'd be wild to me, honestly, that it's like part of ourselves. And then some people, I mean, I understand that some people don't even know any of this, but other people are so scared to just be in it. It's like, it's you. You don't need to be scared of yourself. You don't need to be scared of your gifts. You don't need to be scared of your abilities. You don't need to be scared of anything. Feel safe within your temple. Love that. Because like all these quirky things, all these weird things about you, those are your strength. Those are your powers. Those are your gifts. Those are your gifts. And whenever you begin to honor them and accept them, they will lead to you. Trust me. Everything in you is waiting for that opportunity to lead you inwards more and more and more and more. Because it's like swimming in the ocean that has no limits. Literally, literally. You can access anything. You can access anything if you give yourself the chance, okay? If you give yourself the chance. And now, as we're coming into the new moon, you know, which is Wednesday, set up those intentions from that space of the heart, you know, from that yes space, not from the space. Set up those intentions. Set up those intentions. What has been calling you? You know, what has been calling you? What are you ready to feel within yourself? What are you ready to attract? You know, what are you ready to see? To see within you and in you, okay? Starting with the physical body. And allow that energy to be the access point for this new reawakening within yourself. And let it be. Let it be, you know? Say it out loud, feel it, you know? This is one of the things of the power of the words, you know? When you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know, you know? But then you're just like, yes, yes, because like everything in you is saying yes. So all that energy that has already been saying yes within you just comes through the mouth and it gets expressed, and then you're declaring it. Yes, you know, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for my gifts. I'm ready for this opportunity. I'm ready for this new rebirth. And prepare yourself, because it will be one of the most amazing journeys of your life when you fully say yes. When you fully say yes, and then you get out of the space of the head and you're just in it and enjoy this journey, because it's really like the journey is one of the most magical things, and it takes you to different destinations, you know. It takes you to different destinations, and you get to one destination and it's just like whoa, and then you continue to get to the destination, there's another whoa, and it's just like magic, 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 and magic. There's really one meme that really like took me into the space like whoa, like years ago before my awakening happened. And it said like, you know, you live in this sphere, in this bubble that it is just floating in the center of the universe, and you don't believe in magic? When I read and I saw that meme, I was like, whoa, yeah. So here it is, you know, you live in this amazing bubble, this amazing organism, and we're floating in the middle of the universe, and you don't believe in your own magic and magic in general, you know, like, let that sink to you, you know, let that sink to you, and then see what comes up, because it's just like, it's mind-blowing, you know, that at times we're so like this as humans, we're so like this. And there's so many perspectives, there's so many ways of getting into one destination, right? Just like there's so many ways of getting from one town to another town. Sometimes maybe there's two only, but there's different ways, you know? This is it, your own journey of the magical and amazing and powerful self that you are. empowerment, remembrance, going back into you and being in your story, that has such a ripple effect in the story of all of us in the collective. Such a ripple effect, because each of us are a drop of water in the ocean. Without one, there would be less ocean and it wouldn't be the same. So again, you do matter. In the shift of consciousness, you do matter. And you are very powerful. And it's time to own the power that you have within yourself. Okay? It's time. Yes, inner child love. So amazing. So, time is here, right now. You know, this is where the magic is happening, like right here, right now. Not if you're in your head about like, what are you going to do 20 minutes? Like right here. This is where the magic is. This is where you are, right here. So, begin to honor and love yourself, you know? Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Make funny faces. Just like connect with this amazing vessel that you have. Connect. Because again, this is your portal. To like all these kinds of things, you know? When you hear me talking about like other beings out there, like angels, whatever, this is your portal. And it has many openings to many dimensions. It has many openings to different kinds of wisdoms of the elders. It has different openings to talk and see fairies and gnomes and like have the conversation and the language, understanding the language of the elements. It really has like it all, okay? This right here, your own library, our own library, because it's like we are an amazing library of experiences, and each of us have a book. You are your own book of your own story, right? You're the protagonist of your book, and you're the hero of the story. So if you haven't felt like that before, you are in this chapter, you know, and you can begin a new chapter whenever you want. And then you restart. In a way, you're not like fully restarting, but you start a new chapter and you say, now this is this chapter. This is how I will live this book or finish this book, etc. Power of intention. Intention is your access point. Wisdom is right inside of you. It's so good, you guys. It's so good. I'm so fascinated by all these things. It's just kind of like, holy shit, we're so powerful. So powerful. So, literally. And I'm just like, totally in awe, you know? And this is why I do this. And the times when all these messages come through, I'm like, holy shit. But this is where we are, okay? Set up your intentions. Work with the cycles of the moon. Love yourself. Like, oh, take care of this beautiful vessel. And see where that leads you. Holy smokes, see where that leads you. And I invite you to listen to the podcast that comes out on Wednesday, you know? It's taking care of yourself through releases. It's beautiful. And I give in that podcast, I also give just tips on how to do it and what I do, you know? Because it's so important to take care of yourself as you're going through these things, you know? And just be in it, you know? Just be in it. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so one last thing, you guys. So I entered this, I don't know if you want to call it challenge, but that's the word that comes through, Yoga Warrior of 2022, that the one that wins gets to be featured in Yoga Journal and also wins $10,000. So I'm asking you to help me, if you feel inclined to help me, to vote for me. With the $10,000, what I will do is to set up a nonprofit organization to help people through their awakening process. And if you're part of my mail system, I sent an email about that. And the reason is because there is a part of my journey where I didn't have money. We didn't have money, and we had to figure out how to pay for rent and how to pay for food. And meanwhile, having all these freaking trances and the body doing whatever it was doing. So it was very challenging, okay? It was very, very challenging. This is also one of the reasons why I do what I do. And having a nonprofit organization was a message that came to me during one of the healing journeys that I did with my partner in Colombia. And to win those $10,000 honestly and be able to do that and help those that don't have the needs or the means, so they can just concentrate on their own journey. It would have made such a big difference if somebody would be like, hey, don't worry about this, here, have a shelter, let me guide you through the spaces. It would be, so like that for me is part of my calling. So the link is in my bio, on Instagram, it's also in Facebook, and the voting starts on the 15th, so I will be talking about it too. So anyways, okay, all right, happy last day of February. It's again, like I said, I like to say always, every day is a new canvas. The energies of spring are so amazing right now, you guys. It's a beautiful day here in Lawrence, Kansas, and make the best of it, okay? Make the best of it. Even when people throw stuff at you, I'm not saying like physically, but make the best, because you can. Remember your book, the book that you're writing of your story, which is actually does get written and is in the Akashic records, but this book, you have the ability to write whatever it is that you want to write in it and finish it however you want to finish it, okay? So I love you, love you, love you, love you. If you need anything, I'm here. Set up a call or something, send me a message, and have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see you on Thursday. Peace.